Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our La Liga career mode here with Sevilla. Back today with another episode as we will be heading into the winter break to kick off today's episode before heading into January, where of course the transfer window will open. I'm not expecting there to be much movement, but I have given some pro deals to some of the lads in the youth academy, so I'll be looking to loan them out, but not expecting much movement in regards to the first team. So we'll sim through the winter break and then we'll jump straight into our first game, which will see the beginning of the Copa del Rey this season, a competition that we were knocked out of in the first round we entered last year away to Athletic Bilbao. But this year, taking on Real Oviedo away from home, a great chance to make it through to, I believe it would be the last 16 and potentially the latter stages of this competition. So plenty of changes, but vamos Sevilla. Well, I've made plenty of changes here today as, ooh, that could be a red card, you know. That's a pretty naughty challenge on Morten Frendrup. It comes in pretty late. And the referee could have played advantage, but stops the game. And yet, it's an early red. 10 minutes played. Real Oviedo, who already would have been underdogs, down to 10 men. And that should make our task a lot easier. This should be a comfortable progression through to the last 16. I'll tell you what, guys, this has been an absolutely horrendous game in the rain. And the pitch is really slow and heavy. And Oviedo have had all of the ball and just basically knocked it around the back, and I've not been able to get it off them. I can't recall a shot being taken in the entirety of this game. It's been really poor, and considering we've got the man advantage, we should be the ones turning the screw and trying to find a winning goal. But with 20 to play, it doesn't look like it's going to come unless Frendrup finds Adams and back to Morten, and that's his first goal for the club. And it does look as if we are going to scrape through. Not a particularly good performance, but with 18 to play, we have the breakthrough, and that should be enough to see us into the last 16. And just quickly, as we do get back to the menus, we see a loan deal going through for one of those youngsters we promoted right at the beginning of the episode. Potential to be special on Menendez. He will spend the rest of the season out on loan in Turkey. But let's find out who it will be in the last 16 of the Copa del Rey. Definitely a competition I want to go further in this year. And we will be taking on Getafe away from home. Okay, I'll take that. We've avoided the big three, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid and Barcelona, who this year are all in it. But some pretty tough ties. Betis for Atletico Madrid and Villarreal for Barcelona, whilst Real Madrid away to Celta Vigo. So, okay, you know what? I'll take that. That's not too bad for the last 16. So, yeah, do you know what? We'll jump into our next game. We'll just keep the games rolling as we take on Rayo Vallecano. This game will take us to the official halfway stage of the season, where we're looking to hold off Atletico Madrid and Villarreal to keep ourselves in those Champions League spots. Vamos, Sevilla. Corner for Vallecano, headed away. Piqué shows a nice bit of composure, and now Pedrosa releases Diop, who's away. Go on, Sofiane. Still waiting to see the best of him in a Sevilla shirt, but that's brilliant. Sofiane Diop flashes it wide of the upright. Big chance. And as I say, still waiting to see the best of him. I'm sure it'll come. Give him time like we did for Yasser Asprilla down that other side. I have faith in the young Moroccan. Oh, that's a great ball. Frutos. Salas on his heels, backing off, and what a finish. Brilliant goal from Rayo Vallecano on the break. And it's been another really poor game. We had an early chance through Sofiane Diop, which he couldn't take. And now we find ourselves behind. Inconsistency once again, man. Made some changes to try and turn this game around, because still we trail by one. Got Getafe in the cup to come in midweek, and I want to try and build up a nice head of steam as Amin does brilliantly. Can he finish? Denied as he went for goal from a tight angle. Maybe final few moments, this is it. Haven't been able to find that goal yet. And as Kike goes on the run, looks for Piqué. This to steal a point, and Piqué takes his time and does rescue us at the death. Not the result we wanted. but we will take 1 point instead of none. Kike stepping into midfield and winning the ball, slides it through to Piqué, and Sevilla do claim a valuable point at the death. And as we get back to the menus, we see a few more loan deals for those youth players. Menendez, who I got confused earlier on with Marcano, who's gone to Turkey. Menendez heading to Salzburg for 6 months until the end of the season. We also see Rodrigo Cabrera heading to Salernitana for the remainder of the campaign. And also the Moroccan midfielder Hassan will also be heading out on loan, this time to Aruca in Portugal, again just until the end of the season. So we've managed to get some of those youngsters out on loan. I'm hoping we're going to see some spikes in their ratings, as I think 3 out of the 4 have potential to be special. But as we jump into our next game, it is the Copa del Rey last 16 as we travel to Getafe. I forget how quickly these games come around, and they are quite often in quick succession. So a great chance to make it to the final 8, and we'll be setting our eyes on the latter stages of the competition. Have to get through Getafe first though. Vamos Sevilla. Yeah, this whole season has just been so inconsistent from Sevilla. You never really know what team you're going to get. Sometimes we've turned teams over 3 or 4-0 as Adams gets his first goal of the campaign. And sometimes, for most of the campaign, we've really struggled. But here today, looking to reach the final 8, Adams, with his first goal of the season, gets us off the mark in the opening 4 minutes. Still leading by 1 as we hit the hour mark. Again, not a particularly good game here today, but I don't mind that if it sees us through, as that's beautifully worked. And Fresneda in behind sends us into the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey. First goal for the club, as Ivan Fresneda, like Salas in the previous game, steps forward into midfield and grabs the second goal. We've got a great chance of potentially going all the way and winning this competition. Still a long way to go, of course, but Sevilla, having not won this cup since 2010, a great chance, and probably our best chance of silverware this season. Well, a lovely way to begin today's episode. 2 wins in 2 in the Copa del Rey, and let's sim through as we see Betis Atletico go into extra time. Let's see who it is we will face. Real Madrid through, Villarreal through. Okay, Villarreal knocked out by Barcelona, as Real Madrid also make it through. 1 advance in the calendar. Let's find out who it is going to be. I was hoping to avoid one of the big boys. Okay, wow, look at Cartagena going all the way. Cartagena, not sure how you pronounce it. So we'll take on Barca, Real Madrid away at Elche, Atletico Madrid away at Las Palmas, and Real Sociedad take on Cartagena. Well, I was hoping we might be able to go far in this competition. I think our progress might be ending here. Well, you know what, guys? I'll probably close out today's episode with that game against Barcelona in the Copa del Rey. They're still undefeated domestically this campaign, having a fantastic season and looking to keep pace with Real Madrid, who are also undefeated. That is absolutely crazy. But yeah, we're just going to jump into our next game. Huge game in the hunt for Champions League qualification as we take on Villarreal. Just a point behind us in the table, and a loss here will see them leapfrog us and open up the door to Celta Vigo and Real Betis, who are just below us in the other European spots. So a huge game against Villarreal. Vamos Sevilla. Oh, Benyat, great work. Nicks it off Ramon Terrats, and Piqué now has it. Amin, nice heel to heel, back to Piqué. Lovely skill. Piqué! Oh, what a finish! And the young Spaniard does it again. Sevilla in front, and of course it's that man. Pepe. Oh, nice football this from Villarreal. Parejo. Oh, great defending, Mario. And now we'll come forward. There is the goal scorer, Piqué. And maybe not had quite as much of an influential season as he did last year, but he's still shown that he has got moments of quality, as there he is again. And when you get him in front of goal, he does not miss. He's one of those players that just is so deadly in front of goal. 26 goals last year, not quite as many this campaign, but that is to be expected. But he is showing he is still a phenomenal young talent. Well, that's going to do it here in Seville as well. What a fantastic performance from PK, and a much better performance from Sevilla in a huge must-win game. And PK showing that he is still the main man around here. We've seen some great individual performances, the likes of Isaac Romero, Amin Gouiri, and now PK, like I say, showing he is still the main man around these parts. But we'll jump straight into our next game. Of course, trying to stay in the Champions League for next year in La Liga, but still got to focus on the competition this year. And we've got some work to do if we are to ensure we make it into the playoff round. Of course, we're not going to finish in the top 8 now, but we probably need one, maybe a win and a draw in our final 2 games, but probably one more win to secure knockout or playoff football. So let's try and get it here, staying at home at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. Vamos, Sevilla. Yeah, big game for us today. If we can find all 3 points from somewhere, it will take a lot of the pressure off heading into match day 8. If we go into match day 8 needing a win, then there is going to be lots of pressure on us as Romero lets fly and Mamardashvili tips it over the top. It's been a decent opening half an hour and we've contained Liverpool pretty well. First real chance of the game falls to Sevilla as Yasser comes in inside. There's Romero again. It's blocked and Pedrosa back across goal and cleared by Liverpool. Yasser down the right hand side looks to beat 2 Liverpool players down this left flank, and Yasser finds PK. Can he finish? Denied by Georgi Mamardashvili as we head into the break. Maybe could have taken it one touch closer to goal and would have given us a slightly closer angle, but the 2 biggest chances of the half falling to Sevilla. Romero for Sevilla, got Yasser out wide. Asprilla comes infield, finds PK, lovely little layoff for Romero, and Isaac Romero takes his time and bends Sevilla into the lead. That is a lovely build-up, including Yasser, Asprilla and PK, and it's Romero who puts the finishing touch on it to give Sevilla a huge lead at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. Well, there is the final whistle, and what a huge result that is going to be for Sevilla. Takes all the pressure off us heading into match day 8, as we now know that probably just a point will be enough to guarantee a place in the top 24 and see us go into the playoff round. Isaac Romero's goal in the second half, enough to win it for Sevilla, and we were full value for it as well. I'll always present the highlights package as fairly as possible, and Liverpool rarely gave us any trouble going the other way. A big clean sheet and a big victory in Seville. Well, as we get back to the menus, we do see a loan deal going through for Bento Barros. He is the last of the Youth Academy players we promoted at the beginning of the episode. But let's take a look at that Champions League table, as I'm pretty sure that will move us, 17th. So we're 2 points clear of falling out of the playoff, the top 24. So I think a point on match day 8 will probably be enough to see us through. We've actually only had 1 defeat. It's just the draws, like in La Liga, that have really caused us the problems. But you know what? We'll jump into our next game. A chance to pull clear of Villarreal and Atletico Madrid, who have both already played before us, as we take on Osasuna away from home before we jump into match day 8 of the Champions League. So a big game in La Liga. Vamos, Sevilla. That's nice football. Oh, Barde doesn't get there. Strike comes in. It's off the upright as Kepa couldn't quite get there. And hang on a minute. I couldn't quite squeeze it through to Amin to race through. But still, Amin finds Asprilla. There's PK. Amin again. Kind of scuffed this. PK. Still we have it. Benyat on the spin. Good save to deny him, as we nearly went down the other end and scored. But Osasuna coming the closest with that strike off the woodwork. Yeah, that first half performance just sort of sums up how we've been playing this season, as Aymar's dispossessed, and Garcia, who's looked dangerous today. Nice reverse ball. Pedrosa's got to get there and does. Fantastic interception by the fullback. And yeah, just haven't been fluid in our attacks. Haven't really caused too many issues. As PK now finds Amin. Back to PK. Great opportunity. Shirt being pulled, but it doesn't matter as he manages to get away and drills in the opening goal. Yeah, once again, it's not been the greatest of games here, but pulled on my bench to try and kill the game off as Romero finds Yasser. And Espria in behind. Great chance for two. Pegged back to Romero, and off the bench, he drills in the second goal. He's having a much better campaign this season with some real competition with Amin Gouiri. And that goal looks as if it will seal things for us. So we'll head straight into our next game, a big one as well. Match day 8 of the Champions League as Ajax come to take us on, returning home to the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. I think a point will probably be enough to see us into the playoffs, but I'd love all three to make sure. Vamos, Sevilla. Corner here for Ajax. Dangerous position. Oh, what a brilliant delivery onto the head of Brian Brobby. And in a must-not-lose game, Sevilla find themselves behind. Another corner here. It's into Brobby again, who gets up again and doubles the lead for Ajax. And we are in serious trouble unless we can find 2 goals from somewhere. I've pulled on some of my starters from the bench, and we did so well in match day 7 against Liverpool to claim all 3 points, and looked as if we might be throwing it all away, but Yasser's done well there. Yasser into the middle for Romero, and we've got a goal back. 25 minutes to play. We need another. Ooh, that could be red, you know. That could be red for Kike. And it could be good night for Sevilla. What colour's the card? He's off. I think it's our first red card of the save. It's actually Mario Gila, not Kike. I think that is our first red of the save, and it's taken a year and a half to get it, but thought I could get there on the slide. Couldn't. Mario Gila sent off. Sevilla down to 10, and Traore's free kick is absolutely horrendous, but that just made our task even harder. Well, there is the whistle. It's all over, and our Champions League run might be over as well. Our fortune is in the hands of other teams, and I've no idea if the loss is going to be enough. I think that will leave us on 10 points, and we may potentially have just scraped in, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Let's go and find out. Well, as we get back to the menus, we'll find out if 10 points is enough for Sevilla to qualify. Of course, top 24 go through to the playoffs, and yes, it just about is enough. As I know Arsenal lost to Roma on the final match day. So, yeah, we just about sneaked through. 4 teams on 10 points. We did have the best goal difference of the 4. But as we see, Arsenal, Lyon, Celtic, Ajax themselves and Dynamo Zagreb all finishing on 8 points. And I believe as we sim through, what I'm going to do is find out who it is we will face, where in the playoff round we have been treated to a tie with Paris Saint-Germain. Oh my goodness, probably one of the toughest ties we could have got. And all that hard work qualifying for the playoffs, and in the basically the last 32 of the competition, we will be taking on the Parisians. My goodness, that is going to be tough. But you know what? We'll close out transfer deadline day, where you'll be seeing the top deals of the window on screen here, and we'll jump into our next game. A huge clash as we take on Real Madrid. Currently 6 points clear at the top of La Liga and still undefeated with 21 games played. Can we be the first team to defeat them this season? We've not beat them in the save so far, so I'll be astonished if our first victory does come here. Vamos, Sevilla. Yeah, we've shown in the previous games against the traditional top 3, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid and Barcelona, that we can compete. But so far, I don't think we've taken a point off any of them in the league. So, as I said in the intro, I'm expecting probably more of the same here today. And with Mbappe and Vinicius up top, It's this man who always scores against me, and he might do again here. Squeezed away as Real Madrid putting on the early pressure on our goal. Corner for Madrid here. Camavinga with the outswinger headed up in the air, and now Piqué can bring it clear. Maybe a chance on the break as Piqué finds Yasser, and he'll probably fancy a foot race against Dani Ceballos, and he's away. And Yasser Asprilla opens the scoring for Sevilla. A huge goal from the Colombian on the break, and he just shows a clean pair of heels to Dani Ceballos, and he bends it in. It's his first goal in a while, but what a time to get it. Well, we've been a goal up against Real Madrid twice before, as Mbappe is denied by Kepa. Last year away from home, Gibril Sal scored, and we went a goal up and lost 2-1. And then in the reverse fixture here at the Ramon Sanchez, we managed to claim a point, but straight away, Fede Valverde gets Real Madrid back on level terms. Bit of a scramble in the box, and the Uruguayan is on hand to finish past Kepa. Yeah, pretty solid opening 45 from Sevilla, and I'd certainly have taken this before kickoff if you'd offered it to me. But as Mbappe's rolled through straight from kickoff, fantastic finish, and Real Madrid are just inevitable. It's the third time throughout the course of this save we've gone a goal up against Real Madrid, and as I say, we're still yet to beat them in the save. We claimed a point against them here last year, but we're going to have to score again if we're to do so today. Corner for Madrid. Goes short to Vinicius. It's been all Madrid in this second half. They've absolutely battered our goal, and that is going to seal it. Jude Bellingham with a wonderful strike. And as I mentioned earlier, 3 times in the save we've gone a goal up against Real Madrid, and we're still yet to beat them in the save. They're just inevitable, man. They will continue their unbeaten run at the top of La Liga, and that is going to do it for our chances in today's game. Well, you know what? We'll close out with this one. A huge game in the Copa del Rey. Probably the worst time to be going into this off the back of back-to-back defeats, but it's Barcelona in the quarterfinals of the Copa del Rey. We've already achieved our board objective for the season by reaching the last 16, so I won't be too disheartened if we are to go out here, but still, vamos Sevilla. Yeah, huge game in the quarter-final here, and I'm really not expecting us to get through this. We've got a pretty torrid record against Barcelona, and actually oh no, straight from kickoff. We actually probably perform worse against Barcelona than we do Real Madrid. We've taken a couple of absolute batterings from Barca, and Kingsley Coman, who scored against us in the league fixture here, has done so again in the cup. And yeah, I think this is where our progress ends. I was just about to use an old phrase I used to say on the channel quite a lot, that we've got to stick in the game and make sure we're still in it as we head into the latter stages. And almost straight from kickoff, Kingsley Coman opens the scoring, and now Diop's gone down with an injury, and he's going to need the stretcher. It's all going wrong for Sevilla. A goal down, now a man down due to injury as well. Still only 1-0, which means there is still a chance for Sevilla as Pedrosa slides through Ajuke. Ajuke away from Araujo. Can he finish? No, it's wide. Oh, maybe could have gone a little bit more direct and taken it onto his right foot, but that was the chance for Sevilla, and that's going to do it as well. We dug in, to be fair. We kept the scoreline at 1 despite Barca completely controlling the game, and we almost forced extra time right at the death, but it will be Barcelona progressing through to the semi-finals as expected. So that is where we'll leave it for today's episode, guys. I'll show you the draw for the Copa del Rey semi-final for those that are interested, and the injury suffered for Sofiane Diop in the opening moments. But that is where we'll close out for today. Still lots of chances in La Liga for us to have a good end to the season and wrap up Champions League football for next year. And of course, we've got that huge playoff round fixture, 2-legged affair against Paris Saint-Germain, which will come in the next episode. I hope you have enjoyed, guys, and I'll catch you for the next episode very soon. Take care and peace.